What's up everyone, it's Claudio here, and today we are going up to Vermont for the Green Mountain Stage Race. It's a 4-day stage race, starts with a time trial, all kinds of exciting things. I have no idea what I signed up for really. I saw the mileage and the volume, but I can't really understand what it's gonna be like. Excited, really nervous about it. Let's check out the car. We got Alex.
Woo, nature time.
We got Cosmo. We got Little Prince. We got the Cannondale. We got snacks, stuff, more stuff. All right, so it's gonna be like a 6-hour drive. Can't wait to show you. Let's do this. All right, after 7.5 hours of driving, finally made it to the registration here at Warren, Vermont. Let's go check this out.
Girl, I hear you're a mover.
That you signed, yeah, 3 times. Okay, so that.
Okay, I got everything that I need. The tech guide, gonna read it up tonight. Time to get to the cabin. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Come on. Oh, it's too fat.
Cosmo, what's going on? All right. I think the cabin is around an hour. It might be an hour away.
What?
It could be.
That's crazy.
Okay, we're really in the woods here. It's pretty cool, but kind of creepy. That's the cabin. Pretty cool.
Great.
All right, guys, we arrived. I'll give you a tour in the morning. For now, good night. Peace. Good morning, everybody, and today is race day. Super hyped, excited, nervous, a lot of thoughts, but first let me show you the Airbnb. All right, we got Cosmo coming down the stairs. Hey, Cosmo. We got this little dining area. Great views. Whoa, easy. Got a little sun porch. Amazing views also. Super naturey. Check out the living situation. The guy's an artist. He makes cow paintings. Kitchen. More views. Really nice. Bedroom. What's Prince doing up here? I'm Princey. All right, so let's talk about this race. Today is the first stage. It's a time trial. 5.7 miles. It should take under 20 minutes, I hope. So kind of like an FTP test. I'm just gonna go for it. There's a little bit of climbing, actually pretty significant. The first half is almost all somewhat of a climb, and then a couple of dips until the end. I'm just gonna go for it. I know my power. 242 is my FTP. I'm just gonna try to hammer it, maybe stay right above 250. I don't know if I can sustain that. I hope I'll feel it out. I know that I'll feel it out. I'll try 250, see what it feels like, but I really have to keep it under 300 because I know I'm gonna get excited, try to really hammer it and go above 300. I gotta keep it down below that for sure, or I'm gonna blow up. So, race against time. Very interesting. By the way, I met this guy who told me that if you drink beet juice right before, you're supposed to get some kind of gains. Okay, so I got some beet juice. Let me know if you guys have ever heard of that. I read about it on the internet, I researched it, and something about your ability to process oxygen a little bit better or something along those lines. I forgot, but it seemed interesting. It certainly won't hurt. So let's see what that's all about. And then a brief recap of the entire race. By the way, they gave us this pretty cool technical guide. I'll print it out, very nice. And the circuit race tomorrow is 37 miles, some pretty decent climbing. I'll put the stats up. The road race the day after, the stage 3, is what I'm really afraid of. It's a 64.7 mile road race, huge climbs. It's supposed to go up to 20% at some point. I've never done 20%. I've never done that much climbing, so I don't know what to expect. And then the Critirium on the last day, the stage 4, it's in Burlington, and it's supposed to be really technical. 6 corner crit. Each loop is 1K, and you do 25 laps. So, very challenging weekend. I don't know what to expect. I really just hope to stay in there and race as much as possible. If I get dropped, and just try to finish, do my own time trial sort of thing. I'm really curious to see what these 4 or 5 racers are like up here. It's a very serious race, so I think it's going to be some very serious riders up here. Wish me luck. I'll see you at the time trial. Okay, so a few thoughts as I'm driving to the time trial stage. It's important to know that, especially those beginners out there, it's totally okay to just dive into something like this. Even though, people train for this race all year round. This is like their A race, right? And for me, I signed up for it a month ago, and I've been training all year round, triathlon for the beginning, and then more cycling throughout the summer. So I do have a good amount of fitness for myself, but I'm just diving right into this thing. And it's totally cool. There are people out there who are gonna pass me on the time trial for sure, and I just gotta suck it up. It sucks getting passed on a time trial. It happened to me a month or 2 ago when I was up here doing a time trial at 40K. But I gotta deal with it. I gotta just move, keep moving, stay at my pace. It's a race against my clock, and again, just dive right into it. It's the only way that you're gonna learn. It's you can learn a lot from watching YouTube videos and reading about it, all that stuff, but you'll never really know what it takes until you try it. So that's really what I'm doing up here. I'm figuring out what it really takes to do a stage race, and I just gotta do it. So that's where I'm at. I'm getting close to the spot where I can park and start warming up. All right, let's do it. All right, so we're in this town, and it's pretty nice. I got a little lost. I didn't know where to go. Everybody was really helpful. Finally found my way, and definitely a little scene here. People are lining up. Very well organized. And here's me getting ready. The 30-second mark. And lighting up. I'm nervous. Kind of a little too excited here. And it's cool because they hold your bike, so you don't need to worry about clipping in. And this effort here is so unnecessary. I just shouldn't have to do. I didn't need to do that. Okay? And look at my heart rate. Boom. Through the roof. Anytime I hit 170, that's bad. That's my threshold. I'm hurting. I'm already hurting. But I'm not feeling it because the adrenaline, right? So this is all uphill. The gradient is a little bit off. My FTP is 242. I'm way above that. My heart rate is just climbing and climbing. Here, another surge. It's just so unnecessary. And you can hear me messing around with the gears. I don't know what to be in. And that effort right there was what I feel like did me in. And just like that, I'm blown up. Literally like a minute into this. I can't find the right gearing. Already close to 180 BPM. That's like a big red line for me. Another effort. This is just like I made every mistake possible. You can't be making these efforts. You gotta stay at your threshold and then, play around your threshold a little bit. Maybe add 10 watts, maybe add 20 watts. See what that feels like. See if you can sustain that. But you can't go that far. You can't go like 100, 200 watts above in a time trial. That's crazy. So I get past, of course. This guy's going nice and steady. Another guy passes me, going nice and steady like you're supposed to. Then I revive myself. I pass him. I go up this last hill, which is a huge surge, and I'm already blowing up. So I get past again, and 100 meters to go. I can barely do 200 watts. I'm done. What's up, guys? Just finished. Boy, that was hard. I finished in 17:55. Man, I blew myself up in the first 2 minutes. I did not know how to pace that. And then I spent the next 5 minutes just trying to recover. And then the second half was good. It was strong. But man, my heart rate was through the roof the whole time. Luckily it was only 17, 18 minutes long. I was able to just grind my teeth. I got passed by 2 people, but it's all good. I'm happy. Good stage 1. All right, so the results are in for stage 1. Not looking so good, guys. 39th out of 40. And the guy behind me, 40th place, he was like 2 minutes behind. So something must have happened with him. But I definitely blew up the first minute of the race. First minute of the race went way too hard. I really should have conserved energy, but I was just so excited. And then I paid for it. Couldn't even do 200 watts, throughout the rest of the race. So it goes to show you, take it easy on those starts, especially as a beginner. All right, gonna keep going on this recovery hike. Oh my God, Cosmo! Okay, what's up everybody? Today is the second day of the Green Mountain Stage Race. It's a 37-mile circuit. Should take about a little less than an hour and a half, an hour 20, an hour and a half. There's some pretty big climbs, at least for me. Yesterday didn't go as well as I wanted it to. Blew up at the beginning. Ended up second to last in the GC. So it's going to be hard to make that up. I really want to play it safe today because I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know if I want to jump out into any breakaways in case they really break away. I really should if I want to increase my rankings, but I also know that I'm going to blow up if I do that. There's a good chance. Also on these climbs, guys, check it out. I got to memorize at around 14 miles. There's a little bit of a climb and then it starts to go down. So I got to really hustle during this small climb up until here that I know that I got a descent. And I'm really good at descending, at least way better than climbing. And then I got to also memorize that around mile 22, there's a nice little peak and it goes down again. So I got to make it over that. And then the really big climb starts around, again, 22 miles, a little bit after 22 miles. Goes all the way up until it looks like maybe 27 miles. And then we have the descent. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. I just got to hang on. It looks like a good 5 miles of climbing. Pretty hard. So I'm really going to have to be in survival mode here. Going to try to stay at the top of the group, at the bottom of those climbs, so I can sag climb throughout the whole thing. I don't know how well that's going to work out, but that's my strategy. And just got to really stay in there. Grab wheels. Be very conservative. I can't afford to burn unnecessary matches. Okay? So very tactical. I do have one worry. My left knee tends to get a little sore after climbs, and it got to the point where it was really sore a few weeks ago. Like I couldn't cycle for 2 days. So you got to keep an eye out on that. Otherwise, just go out and race. All right, let's go. All right, so here we go. This is the start at this high school. It's pretty exciting because it's the first race, with people. So that's when you're getting to know the pack, your age group. We get out there, and the race officially starts once we leave town. And it's pretty much just, it's pretty chill for the first, I don't know how many minutes, 20 minutes or so. This little portion right here, these train tracks, the first caution point, they just pointed those out. And of course, somebody attacks right after. And so we're hammering. And that's the first time that I feel any kind of, aggressiveness. And it wasn't that much, it died in just a few seconds. But, people are up there at the front, they're hammering it. Sitting in was pretty easy at this race. I was never at the front. I was always mid-pack, and I was fine. Totally fine for at least the first half of this particular race. Just surfing wheels, again, getting to know people, how they ride, the whole dynamic, which is pretty friendly. Nothing sketchy going on. Everybody was calling out, if there was gravel, if there was any spots to be aware of. Sometimes there were these gaps. I was never too worried about them because we always just got back together. So it was a lot of fun. This portion was great. The roads were smooth, great scenery. Then we got to this turn, and it's like about halfway through the race, and this is the first time that I felt like I was I felt the limits of my fitness. Right after this attack, I remember I'm like, oh man, I only have so many more of these surges in me. That feeling where you can feel when you realize you only have so much left in the tank. So that was the point for me. It spiked my heart rate a little, and I start to get worried. Of course, nothing big happens, and we start getting into some of these climbs. Now you see the percent grade on my screen. That's always like 3 seconds behind. So just so you know that we're starting to climb, and my heart rate is 170 right there, or back there, and that hurts. 170 hurts. Anything going into above 170, I am in some pain. As you can see in this climb, my threshold is 242, and once I get into the 300s and my heart rate is up there, high 170s, I'm in danger zone. So this is the first time where I almost got dropped. And luckily, it slowed down, and I was able to catch my breath, recover, and get back into the group. That was the first little scare. I'm in the back, and it's just not good to be in the back when you're climbing. And here we are, starting to climb again, just going towards the first the KOM. And we're climbing and my heart rate is up there. I'm doing over 300 watts. I can't sustain that. No way. And I am definitely at the back. My rear view camera shut off. And I just cannot sustain it. Okay, at 180, above 180 BPMs, that is a huge red line for me. I can do just a few seconds there before you see my watts start to drop down. And there I am. I lose contact with the group. And there they go. There's just no way that I can sustain that. That kind of power. I mean, I really need to be like up there in the 300s, maybe in the high 280s, 290s, watts wise. People getting flats, and this is the top of the KOM. And of course, nobody's to be seen. In the descent, I hit some 40 mile an hours. It was fun, but it was lame going by myself. There's this guy going, I don't know, maybe 50 miles an hour. I didn't have the guts to do what he's doing. All right, just finished the race. Man, what a rough, fun, exciting, dangerous ride. Everything was great. I was really in there for an hour racing. There were attacks. I was in there following. It wasn't until all the climb started around mile 25 or so. Completely blew me up. I lasted until maybe 600 meters before the KOM. Then I got totally blown up. I couldn't catch up. And then on the descent, they just took off. Again, I just was not in the draft. So then I did the last 20 minutes solo, which sucks. But hey, I'm used to that. I'm the king of getting dropped. So not such a big deal. Kind of knew that it might happen since I don't have too much climbing skills. So this race is really a climber's race, especially tomorrow. I'm really kind of terrified of what's going to happen. There's some really big climbs. So I'm just going to do my best. All right, time to recover. All right, it's dinner time. We're checking out, what town are we in?
Brandon.
Brandon, Vermont. Cafe Provence.
Provence. It's French.
All right, the appetizers are in. I got the beet salad. And what did you get?
The mussels. Steamed mussels with tomato sauce.
And there's Cosmo. And there's Little Prince.
No.
And I got the swordfish. All right, good morning, everybody. I'm on my way to stage 3, and I'm nervous. This is gonna be hard. It's a 64.7 mile road race. It's got like 1 or 2 sprint sections. It's got 2 KOMs. It's supposed to have up to 20% grade, and I'm really nervous about all the climbing. Yesterday was hard. I got dropped right before the KOM, and I just really need to hang on to that first KOM with the group, so on the descent I can just go down with them and recover. It's just going to be impossible to catch up to them. I'm feeling okay. My legs are sore, but they're fine. It's really my neck. My neck is stiff. And it was stiff going into the competition, but it's really stiff. I think when I get nervous, I cycle like this, right? And then it's just bad for me to do a whole hour with my shoulders and neck like that. So I'm worried about my neck. I'm worried about the climbing. My knee's fine. I don't feel anything in my knee. It's a good thing. But these people came here to ride. I mean, you can tell that they've been training. This is like their A race, and strong riders. They're just strong. They can do it. They can do it all. But it is a lot of fun riding around in Vermont and these awesome roads. It looks like this. You know, it's just pretty cool to be riding around like that, coming from Brooklyn, New York. So it's exciting. Nervous. I don't know what kind of shape I'm gonna be in after this stage. I just have to finish it so I can get to the crit. Because if I don't finish it, they don't let you move on to the next stage. So I just gotta finish this. It's my first time. It's just my first experience. All right, let's see what I can do. All right, so we're at the top of this mountain. Really beautiful up there. Kind of chilly. I had tights on. I'm glad that I took them off though. But I definitely had a kind of wintry long sleeve jersey. Really awesome views up here. Really enjoyed just being up there, even though I was so nervous. So here's the start, and we are descending for like the first 15 minutes. Really chill. You didn't need a warm up for this. The whole first half an hour was a nice little warm up. Nothing too aggressive. Again, people were just feeling out everything where they were out. There's some fatigue in our legs, and we have a long race ahead. A lot of just sitting in for me, making sure I'm being conservative and riding wheels as much as possible. There's Jake waving. He ended up getting third place. Congrats, man. So, again, a lot of sitting in until the climbs. Unfortunately, my GoPro cut off and I couldn't show the climbs, but I got dropped on the way to the first KOM. And it was rough. I mean, I ended up cycling like an hour, at least an hour and a half by myself. So that was not very fun. But all this was really cool, just being in there with the group and riding. Hopefully next time I can sit in again. Here's me with this one guy that got dropped. We kind of went back and forth for a while. Then there was another group, another age group that passed me at some point. So many people passed me. And we got into this gravel section, which is a nice little change. I was into that. Never ridden my road bike on gravel, but it was pretty smooth. Okay, now this is the very end. Check out the percent grade. And guys, I don't have the gearing for this at all. I have an 1128, and as you can see, my RPMs. Look at this, 36 RPMs. I'm completely wasted, and I can't spin. Not on this cassette. 30. I almost dipped into the 20 RPMs. Imagine what that's like. I mean, it's insane. I didn't have anything. And I could barely do 150 watts going up this thing, going like 3 miles an hour. But somehow I just muscled through it and made it barely to the top. It took me 4 hours to get up there. A lot of it was just fitness. I didn't have that kind of endurance to do such a long race. I've never done it. So I just didn't have that kind of muscular endurance that you need. Totally understand why doing long rides is so important now. It eases up towards the end and finally crossed the line. Wow, I was so exhausted. And just went here and you can see people are like totally gone. Some of them could barely stand. really intense, but really lucky the weather turned out. Had a good time up there watching the other finishers, saw some of the pro racers and the other age groups. And people were really going at it. Okay guys, quick race report. Just got back to my car. By far the hardest thing I've ever done. It took me 4 hours to finish. At some point, I couldn't even do 50 watts on my bike. Definitely ran out of gears. I was spinning at like 30 RPM at some points. I mean, this is a whole nother thing. Definitely a huge endurance event. I'm gonna have to train very differently if I want to do well next year. But all in all, super great experience. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend people just checking it out, doing what I did, just jump in and get a feel for the course. But it will wipe you out. I need to go eat and sleep. Peace. Good morning, everybody. Stage 4 is today, and it's not looking very good. It's raining, it's cold. Pretty nervous about all that. I have no idea what they're gonna do at the race. Maybe they're gonna give us more neutral laps. Maybe people are dropping out. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's worth it for me. I'm last in the GC. Is it worth it for me to go out in the rain and risk it just to ride? I mean, I really want to ride. I really want to ride the course, but I don't know if it's worth it. So I'm nervous. I want to race, but it's not looking great. I'm sure everybody else is really nervous about this. So it's going to be interesting to see what the officials say and do. But you know, that's racing. Let's see what happens. Okay, I just rode a few laps around. Pretty sketchy. I mean, it's wet. There are manholes that are completely wet, and if you go on those, you could really slide. So I'm a little nervous about those, but the 4-5 masters seem to be doing okay, but you know, like already at least a dozen riders got pulled after like 3 laps. So I think I'm just gonna go for it right at the beginning, try to hang on for the first 2 laps, and then, you know, if I blow up or whatever, at least I tried to stay in the front. It's gonna be a very interesting race. Wish me luck. Let's see it. All right, so here we go. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was trembling when we were lining up, like in fear. I was so afraid of this. We have, this is the end of the first neutral lap, and I knew that people were gonna be hammering it right up the straightaway. This straightaway is an uphill. You can't tell yet by the percent grade, but it's definitely an uphill. And every time it's like 500, 600 watts. But you know what? It wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. It's doable. It's definitely doable. We weren't going too fast. I mean, it'd be really sketchy if it was like 27 miles an hour, but I don't think I ever got, you know, over 25. Here, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid to get close to the wheel in front of me because I don't know what they're feeling. I don't know how afraid they are. I'm assuming they're also terrified. So I'm staying back. I know it's like bridge here or like close this gap. And I'm telling myself now watching back, like, man, you should have just closed this. Like, you're wasting so many watts. I totally get it. But there's just no way I'm gonna ride like 12 inches from that guy's wheel. There's no way. I'm staying back and I'm gonna try to do my best not to crash. It was cold. People were not being that aggressive. I don't know how it was at the very front. I was definitely here kind of still in the front group. Here I cut in the inside, a nice little move, but now I'm doing 600 watts and I don't know, you know, I can't really do that. I can't do that too many times without blowing up. You know, you see, I can't sustain that. Now my heart rate's 170, not great. So that was the first real lap. So you guys can check out what it was like. Of course, I start blowing up. I can't sustain that pace and those efforts. So I had to drop back. And here's a yellow jersey that was not, he didn't make the front group. So I tried to stay with him. And you know, now I'm doing 700 watts to keep up, and of course I can't, and he drops me. But I tried, you know, I was in there. I was definitely in there, hammering it as much as possible. I start blowing up again. People pass me, the chase group, and I get in with this guy and start riding a little bit. And we trade off a few times. And they give us one lap to go. That means that we're too far behind and they just want to pull us out. And this is the last of it. They pull me out. Some other riders, they're just pulling riders out all the time, constantly. And that's that. All right, just got pulled from the race. After about 15, 16 laps. Feeling good about it. I was with the front group for a while, but man, the pace was way too high. Just got blown up this hill, and I couldn't sustain. But at least I survived.
That is Jake Haynes. Jake Haynes from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, unofficially taking the win. Jake Haynes. All of our competitors in the men's 4-5 open race and a beautiful edition of the Green Mountain Stage Race. And now back to the racing.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for following me along this journey through the Green Mountain Stage Race. What an epic weekend of racing and cycling. Had so much fun. I really highly recommend you guys going out there and trying something new like this. I definitely know now what it takes to be competitive out there. I finished last in the GC. That's okay. I was undertrained. Did more of triathlon training for this. I realized that you need more of this muscular endurance and ability to stay on the bike and put out watts for extended periods of time. The fatigue really adds up, and you need to just be able to race back to back and have that kind of fitness to get out there and stay competitive. Also, things like just having the right gearing, really important, the technical specs. So looking forward to coming back next year, much stronger, fitter, smarter. Really gonna hustle this winter and throughout the season. This is gonna be my A race for 2020, and I'm so excited and pumped to be back. Again, thanks so much for all the subscribers and people commenting and supporting me. Really happy. There were some of you that even came up to me at this race and said hello. It's really exciting. Thank you so much. Please subscribe if you want more of these videos. Leave a comment down below. If you have any experience stage racing, I'm happy to listen and take your advice. All right, guys, thanks so much. I'll see you out there. Peace.